and welcome. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to store data in a MySQL database via vb.net. The first thing you're going to end up doing is going to this web page and downloading the MySQL community server. Once you've done that, it's going to ask you for a couple of things. It's going to ask you for a username and a password. Make sure you remember that information because you're going to need that later on to log into your log into your MySQL database, and also to use it for vb.net to connect to your database. Alright, so now you're going to go and you're going to search for the program you just downloaded, the MySQL command line client, and you're going to enter your password. Once you've done that, it's going to connect you, and you're now successfully logged in. So now we're going to go to the second page I have here, and this has all the information you'll need to create a database and insert data into it. Alright, so first step is to create a database. I'm just going to use all the stuff they have here just for simplicity. You obviously can change this to your liking. Alright, so let me do that right. You don't need to copy the MySQL, you just need to copy the green part if you are copying this text from this page. And when you do paste it in, you're going to want to right click and click paste. If you click Control V, it's not going to work, it's going to give you that symbol. Alright, so now we're going to create a database called books. You obviously can change books to whatever you want the database to be called. Just make sure you remember what it's called for later on. Alright, now we've done that. Now we're just going to use books. Make sure this use means we're selecting it. So now we have changed the database to books. Now we're going to create a table in the database named books. Alright, so we're going to create a table called authors, and inside authors we're going to have fields. First field's going to be ID, name, email, and you can obviously add more fields if you so choose. As you can see, it says int. Int stands for integer, which means the ID is going to be a number. Name, and you see how it says varchar. Varchar is text or characters, and it's going to be set to a maximum amount of 20. You can change the length of what you want this to be set to just by simply editing that. So email length will be set to 200, and the name length will be set to 20. Alright, we're just going to create that, and like I said before, you can change authors to whatever you want, your table to be. Alright, so now that's been successfully created, we're going to go down and we're going to insert some information into our table. Alright, so now I'm just going to paste this in, and we're going to insert into authors. So we're going to insert into our table the different inputs into the fields we created. So we have the field ID, name, and email. So into the first one, we're going to create the ID. We're going to insert an ID of 1, the name, and then the email. We're going to do that now. And now you can see it's successfully stored, and we can view what is inside our database by going selecting from the database. So I'll paste this in, and we're going to select from authors. Alright, and obviously this would be whatever the name of the database, not the database, the table you created. So now you can see we have the information inputted into our table. So here's the line we used right here: insert into authors, ID, name, email, values, and we have the ID of 1, the name, and the email, and as you can see, it's inputted here. And then obviously you can insert more information if you so choose. But nobody's going to do this manually. I'm going to show you how to use vb.net so you can automatically store information into your database. Alright, so now if we update that, we can see that we have two things or two rows inserted into our database. Alright, so the next step is to go and show you how to do this via vb.net. Alright, here I have the code. There's a couple things you're going to want to end up changing with your code. First thing being your user name or user ID, the password you entered, and then the name of your database. Alright, once you do that, you're going to also want to end up changing down here. This is going to be the same thing. You're going to end up changing this, which is your database, and then you're going to change this to your table. Right, so database dot table. Alright, once that's done, you can go and whatever table you have selected, you're going to put in the different keep on messing that up. Put in the different fields to what you set up earlier. So basically it's going to be the same thing you set up here. See? The MySQL insert into. Same concept. Alright, and I'm going to be giving you guys this whole code so you can just copy and paste this in, change a couple of things, and it should work for you. Alright. I'm going to pause the video, change the password because I don't have that as my pass for this. And I'm going to end up switching over the database to the database I use for my program so I can give you guys an example of how it stores information. And you guys can, of course, add text boxes here so you can input information manually, or you could set these to be variables. I'm not going to show you guys how to do that. That's kind of like an intermediate thing. Maybe in like a later tutorial or something like that I'll go more in depth on how to do variables and whatnot. But for right now, this should be very easy. Just copy paste code, change a couple things, and use this to whatever you want, to your liking, because obviously you're not going to have the same program in mind as I do. Alright, so let me pause the video and I'll change a couple things and get back with you. Alright, now that I have the email switched, or the password switched over and the database switched over, you can see here's my new database and you can see the information I have stored in here. I have a couple emails, some of them have the same ID, some of them have whether they're subscribed or not. Alright, so I'm just going to show you how to input some information. And a couple of things I just want to go over again just so you guys don't get confused, because I did end up switching over this on you. Before, the example we were using before, which was books and then authors. So in that example, this would be books, and then this would be authors. So database, and then, oops, why do I keep doing that? Yeah, the first one I've highlighted, program, would be the database. Second one would be the table, and then inside the table, all the different fields we put in. Alright? And then in those fields, you can set the values of what that you want them to be. Alright? And if the values are different, it will create a new row and install. It will store that information. Alright, so I'm just going to hit play and I'm going to show you that real quick. Alright, so it's been connected to the database and data has been stored. So this information you see here will now show up in our database if I refresh it. So as you can see, oh actually it doesn't even need to be different, just if it's the same it will even store it again. But as you can see, this information has been stored a second time. Alright, so let me change it up a bit, make this true or something. And you can, let me stop the program first. You can make it so it won't rewrite if it's already in there. Using VB.NET, you can have it read through all this, and if this already exists, it won't restore the information. You can, do whatever you want with this. I'm just giving you a quick example of how to store information to a database. Alright, so I'll just change some stuff here. I changed that to true, change it up a bit. Alright, connected to database has been opened, data stored. Alright. And as you can see, more information has been stored in our database. Well, that's it for this tutorial. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you can use this in your programs. And thank you guys for watching. Please rate and subscribe.